Welcome to the channel. I'm Katie. I sell part-time on eBay, mostly when my kids are at school. My full-time gig is a stay-at-home mom, but a few times a week I go thrifting at my local thrift stores. I pick up some cool things to list on eBay, and sometimes I sell them. We're gonna talk sales this week. I am talking about December 9th through December 15th, which is a Tuesday, running through Monday, which when I'm filming this was yesterday. I had 2 no sales days, which if you've been watching me for a while, you know that this is what happens in my business. I usually have 1 or 2 days a week with no sales. I had 9 total sales this week, so up from 6 last week. And I did have 2 returns that we're gonna talk about at the end of this video, so be sure to stay tuned for that. So I had 8 eBay sales and 1 Facebook Marketplace sale. And my total sales amount was $355.18. I use calculated shipping on eBay, so generally I don't make any money off of the shipping, so I don't usually include the numbers here. If I do make $1 or lose $1 or whatever, I generally let you know. But if it would be helpful for you to know what the buyers are paying in shipping, I could add that in my videos in the future. My cost of goods, or the amount that I paid for all the items that I'm sharing with you today, is $98.01, so that's pretty high. What is that? About $9.80 per item. And then my total profit after I got my cost of goods returned to me and I paid eBay all the fees is $211.35. My average sale price was $39.46, so the items that I was selling sold for a pretty good amount, and I do have a few quick sales. So even if you're new to the channel and you've only seen a couple of my videos, you'll probably recognize a few of these items that I sold. Okay, so we'll get into the returns at the end. Let's see what sold. So I had no sales on Tuesday, which was the beginning of my week on December 9th. And then on the 10th, I had 1 sale through Facebook Marketplace. So I had 2 days of no eBay action at all. I sold this pair of Hoka Bondi 7 running shoes. They were in a black and white, women's size 8.5. They were in really good condition. I picked them up from a consignment store local to me, and I paid $29.63 after tax. I think they had them listed at $27.50, but I was confident that I could sell them locally. So I did list them only on Facebook Marketplace for $60. And I sold them in 5 days for $60. I made a profit of $30.37. Hokas are a brand that they're popular in my area. I'm in Northern California. They're probably popular where you are too. But they don't sell for as high in like used condition on eBay, which is why I sold them locally, so that whoever was buying could just look at them quickly at my door. And if they didn't like them, they didn't have to take them. But the buyer was really happy with them. And I was happy with the profit. I doubled my money in 5 days. The next sale was on December 11th, which is Wednesday, and it is this Vivaya pair of Margot square toe Mary Jane flats. They were in a knit black and a European 40.5 wide, which is equivalent to a 9 to 9.5 based on the Vivaya size chart. So I sold a forest green pair of these a couple of weeks ago, and I was waiting on these to sell, and they did. So I had them listed at $65, and I ended up getting an offer for $50. And this was basically the first sale of the week that I had on eBay, so I took it. I had $7.99 into this pair because it's the standard shoe price at the smaller thrift store that I shop at. And so I made $33.94 in 27 days. So under a month, I would absolutely pick up this brand. They retail for like $140 for this style, $140, $160. But this style is really in the Mary Jane slip-on, and this brand, you'd think it seems like it would just be an Amazon brand, but it is a nice quality shoe. I threw them in the washing machine and they cleaned up amazing, and they were delivered to the buyer, so hopefully they love them. Next up, another shoe sale. So I am selling the shoes. We are so happy. So this is the thumbnail on one of my thrift hauls, maybe 2 ago, which would be about 2 weeks. It's the Brooks Ghost 17. It's a men's 11.5, and they were in a wide, which is the 2E. And I put the style color exactly on there. These are from 2025, so they are the most current style of Ghost running shoe. They retail for $150 currently. These were in really good condition. I think somebody wore them once. So there was a little bit of discoloration on the bottom soles that I couldn't get off, but in terms of like tread, and there was no scuffing, these were in fantastic condition. So I was excited to pick them up for $22.99 at my local Goodwill, which is definitely paying up, but I was confident that I could sell them quickly. I had them listed for $90 on eBay, and I had watchers pretty early on, but I didn't get any offers within the first week. And then after 9 days, I got an offer for $77.77. So lucky sevens for this person, I guess. And then, so with tax, they paid tax and shipping. They were at like $94 or $95. So they probably saw my price and were like, yeah, that sounds good, but I want to be all in for that amount, which I do find happens pretty frequently on my listings. I made $42.22 in 9 days. So that was a fantastic sale. Excited to get my $22.99 back on top of that. Next is a Disney Spirit jersey. This one is Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, and it has the scratches on it. That was the style name on it. It was a size extra, extra large. They are unisex, these Spirit jerseys. So I included all the measurements in it. Because it's long sleeve, I think that's probably why it took longer to sell. It took 158 days to sell. I picked it up in the summer, and I actually got this when I was out with my friends. We went to brunch, and then we went to a thrift store that was right next to it. And my friend actually found this. I was telling her, you know, Disney stuff does well, and she picked this off the rack, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're amazing at thrifting. So I paid $9 for it, and I listed it for $49.95, and somebody came right out and they purchased it for $49.95. You go, person. I made $32.86 in 158 days, and it is staying in California. So they must be going to Disneyland, probably for Christmas or the New Year. Next sale is a Tommy Bahama women's active half zip. It's a textured hot pink active pullover, and I got this at Goodwill. Tommy Bahama women's sells the best for me. Men's I struggle with, but women's I feel like I can sell it pretty consistently in that 90-day window. If it has UPF protection in it, I do put that in the title because people are looking for that if they're going to be outside. We want to protect our skin, very important. So I put that in the title. They sell Tommy Bahama stuff like this at TJ Maxx, and depending on the availability of the TJ Maxx that you're at, it can still resell pretty well, even if you're paying up for it. But I did get this at Goodwill for $9.99. It was new with tags. So I don't know where it came from originally. I got an offer for $30. I had it listed at $34.95. So I thought that was really fair. And I ended up making $14.62 in 143 days. So really happy with that sale. I try to make around $15 per sale. So right there, new with tags, easy peasy. And that one went to South Carolina. I finally sold some Lululemon women's clothing, which is amazing. And a legging. I think this is the first legging that I've sold in Lululemon. So this is the size 8 speed up tight, and it is a full length tight, which is why I think it did better, which was 28 inches. And was it an older? It has the style code around the number in the dot. So that is newer. I can actually see. So it's from 2019. So it is older, but not like super old. I had these listed at $39.95, and I got an offer for $30, and I accepted that really quickly because I was excited to move some Lululemon. I paid $6.99 for these at my standard price thrift store back when pants were $6.99. They are now $8.99. So I don't know if I would pay $8.99 for any workout leggings from Lululemon, but for $6.99, apparently I did. I made $18.59 in 252 days. So I had these for a while. I had no sales on Saturday, so that's pretty bad. A weekend, not so good. And then on Sunday, I had one sale, and it was this polo Ralph Lauren little girls size 14, maybe not little girls, a girl size 14 large holiday plaid dress. I picked this up last month. I had it listed for $30 because the Ralph Lauren Christmas is trending so much this year, which is a very traditional looking Christmas with the plaid and, you know, the teddy bears and just like over the top, maybe 90s style. I thought this would do really well. We're getting really close to Christmas. So I received an offer on it for $15 and I countered at 20 and then they came back at 17. And I thought, you know, I need to get rid of this before Christmas or I will have it until next year. I paid $3.99 for it last month, accepted a $17 offer, and I made $10.58 in 33 days. So we got it out just in time for the holidays. Hopefully they love it. This next sale is a Noble crossbody belt bag. It is 100% cotton, a canvas material. It's a really nice bag. Noble is like a cross-training brand, weightlifting. They're known mostly for their shoes, but I know that it's a popular brand. So I actually sourced this on thredUP. I had seen other resellers talking about you can go into the assorted brands tab on thredUP and you can find some good items that maybe thredUP doesn't have like the style or the brand name in their catalog. So they just throw it up on there. I had some credits on thredUP from a purchase that I had made previously. So I only had $3.44 into this. I think they had it for like $12.50 on the assorted brands. These retail for over $60. I had it listed for $29.95. I sent out a 15% off offer to someone who was watching it, and a watcher actually purchased an item. Normally I send out offers and nothing. So that was exciting. So I sold it for $25.46 and I made $17.33 in 182 days. I got this during the summer when my kids were home and I wasn't really sourcing at all. So I thought I would try online. I have since realized that I really like picking out the items myself. So I haven't been back on thredUP, but this was in excellent condition and I'm happy to make the sale. My last item for the week is another Christmas item. Christmas is currently 9 days away, so these will be shipped out today. It is a pair of The Office, the TV show, pajama pants in a size large. They have the character Dwight and Phyllis is dressed up as Santa on them. They did have a couple of tiny holes in the left leg, like tiny pinholes, but I look my clothing up and down. I check all the seams. I look in all the lighting. It's just to make sure that I am sending out an item that no one will be surprised by when they see it, which I do not do with my own clothing at all, but with things that I'm selling, I am like obsessive, borderline about the quality of the things that I'm sending out. Anyway, so I put the tiny flaw in the title. I had them listed for $19.99. I thought they were a cute novelty print. I love The Office, so that's why I picked these up. I paid $3.99 for them last year in December 6th, 2024. So they were in my store for over a year. I got an offer for $15. I ended up making $10.84 off of this, and that's because I made about $3 in shipping off of these, because I had them at a pound and they ended up only being 12 ounces. So I'm guessing that the person offered me less because they saw that the all-in price was going to be around 25. So anyway, I'm sure that they factored that in. I made 1084, which is why, because 15 minus 399, and then there's fees in there. Anyway, I made a little bit of shipping off of that one. And then we're gonna get into the returns that I had. So last week I had 6 sales, as I shared with you, and I got 2 return requests from those 6 items. So last week was basically a bust. I got this Peruvian Connection sweater back, which I was raving about in my video last week about how it's royal alpaca and so nice, and it really is so nice. So my buyer got the item, they must have tried it on, didn't fit, immediately opened a return same day, and they did ship it back the next day. So I do have the item back. I inspected it. I gave them their money back. When I do returns, the buyer pays the return shipping label. So that item gets deducted from the amount that they get back from eBay, but I did give them the full $40 on my end back. I do get my fees back from eBay, so that is good. And I had shared that I made $1 off of the shipping on this last week, so I guess I made $1, but this was the second time that it was returned. I took all new photos yesterday. I cleaned it up, I inspected it, and it is now repackaged and relisted in my store. Hopefully it will sell in the winter, and I tried my best to explain the fit of it so that if someone isn't gonna look at the measurements, that maybe they will look at the description and then go, I should double check the measurements. Anyway, it was returned for fit, so should be no issue with my eBay seller status. And then the next return that I had was this pair of J. Crew high-rise wide leg denim trouser pants, and the buyer said that they ordered these by mistake. So I don't know what that's about. They got delivered to the buyer, and then 2 days later, I got a return for them that they ordered them by mistake. I had paid up for these. So I paid $20 for these. They offered me $40. I ended up only making $12.90 off of them. So it's really not that big of a loss, but now I will relist them when they come back to me after I inspect them. And that's disappointing because 2 of the 6 sales that I had are back in my possession again. And that's just part of selling on eBay, probably on other platforms too. I just only sell on eBay. It is difficult selling because you are doing the best you can as a seller to make sure that the buyers know exactly what they're getting, and they can still return it anyway, basically. Even if you have no returns on, if someone wants to return something, they'll find a way to return it. Thankfully, these buyers, they take the responsibility for it, so they do pay the return shipping, and I should be good to go with my seller status, like I said again. Those were the sales that I had for the week. It was pretty slow, but I am grateful for any sales that I get. The money goes right to my family, and I do appreciate it. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching this What Sold video. Come back next time. I have a special video. I got an opportunity to source from my local consignment store. We did a bulk deal. So I'm gonna have a couple of pretty substantial videos for you coming up where I picked up like over 100 pounds worth of stuff, and it ended up being like under bins pricing. Hello. So come back for that. Thank you so much. Bye.